Hey, what's up YouTubers? It's Melody here. I thought I would try something a little bit different today. So I wanted to try out doing a mukbang, and I thought I would call this segment Melody Time, where you get to spend time with me, eating with me, and getting to know things about me. Plus I also do music, so if you get the reference. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you guys. So I did a little thing on Instagram and I asked you guys what you wanted to know about me, and some people asked about like my singing and music and how I got involved with that. So I thought today I would talk about my journey pursuing my passion for music and singing. Excuse me, that is my best friend in the background. You know, come here. Come here. It's my bestie. Okay, so, but before we talk about all of that stuff, and so I don't get sidetracked, let's talk about the sushi. So, one of my favorites is the salmon, and it's not here, but the unagi is also one of my favorites. I'm not a super huge fan of hamachi, octopus, and scallop raw, only because I don't really like the texture, and the flavor isn't as great as some of the other fishes like salmon and tuna. So we'll see. Something really funny is, or I guess a fact about me is, I actually tried sushi for the first time in high school, only because I was raised in like a traditional Asian household, so we didn't eat anything really like cold, or we didn't really eat raw stuff. So I tried it for the first time in high school and I absolutely fell in love with it. To this day, I eat like natto, which I know a lot of people don't like, but to each your own, right? And one of the other things that I really love is wasabi. Kind of looks a little brown in here, but I really love wasabi. I actually put a lot of it to dip my sushi with, and I know not a lot of people dig that, but that's what I like. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through my notes so we keep on track. And then of course, with the sushi that you eat, you always have to have bubble tea, either during or after, right? Because this is almost like water. Okay, let's try some of the sushi and then we can talk a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how this goes, but I'm super hungry, so we're gonna eat and then we'll talk story, and hopefully you guys find this entertaining, and if you don't, then it's okay too. So let's try the maki roll. There's avocado and crab and cucumbers with a little bit of mayo, and then, you know, wrapped in rice and seaweed. So of course everybody loves this, even if you don't eat sushi. This is how I ate sushi growing up, or sushi, because it's not really considered sushi, but still pretty good. So good. I want to try the tuna now. I forgot to mix this in. Yeah, it's kind of gross because like I like my shoyu wasabi mix with more like wasabi, so it's basically like brown, but it's not for everyone. I like spicy food, like I adore, like I love spicy food, and I know like not a lot of people can handle it. Let me just check. Okay, so the one good tell of really good sushi is that you see wasabi like with your fish and rice, because it kind of already like flavors everything, so you don't really need to put the additional. But I just like my food spicy, and I really like the taste of wasabi, so I add a little bit more. But let's taste this. I know these are supposed to be one bite, but I can't swallow this, so I might do 2 bites. Let's see. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god, it's so good. Another tip is if you're ever in Japan, the best kind of sushi that they have is actually tuna, because they catch a lot of it and it just tastes really good. Okay, so what do we talk about? Okay. Let's talk about how I how I got into music in the first place, and I guess go from there. So I was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii, and I went to public school. A part of our curriculum for like elementary school is you're required to learn different instruments, and you're required to join like choir. So in the 4th grade I learned the ukulele, and I think from like, I want to say the 1st grade to like the 3rd grade we had to learn how to play the flutophone, which isn't really an instrument, but we were required to learn it. So we would play like nursery rhymes and stuff like that, and then we had to take choir, I think from kindergarten to like, I want to say 5th grade, because we had stuff like Christmas performances, like Christmas concerts. In Hawaii we also have like May Day, so we had to sing and, you know, like do little dances for that. And I'm trying to think of like other performances we had to do, but I can't think of anything at the top of my head. And anyways, going back to my topic, in the 5th grade I did, however, we were required to take band, so we could choose any instruments to play. Me being the person that I am, I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick the instrument that was the lightest, because I didn't want to like carry a tuba home with me, or I didn't want to carry like really big instruments. So I was like, okay, what's like the easiest instrument I can learn that's not that heavy to carry? And I was like, the flute. So I chose the flute, and we had to take classes and play, and then we had like a concert thing in front of the whole entire school, which was interesting. And I never really followed up with any of those instruments, or any instruments I learned in the future. It was just more so like I was always interested in music, but I never, like, my parents were never like the type of people who were like, oh my gosh, you have to become like the next like Bach or Beethoven and just be super amazing, right? So got to try a lot of different instruments, and I think for me the one thing that stuck was singing. Okay, backtracking a little bit because I'm all over the place. Also in middle school in the 6th grade, one of the electives I took was orchestra, so I played the violin then. Same thought process, which instrument was the lightest. And then I only took it for I think 1 year, and then I took a piano class in college because everyone told me like my fingers are, you know, like really good for playing the piano. I never took piano classes growing up because I thought like it seemed pretty complicated, but I took a class in college and it actually is really complicated. Like playing with both your hands at the same time and using your feet, like props to you if you know how to play. It was fun. All these classes and everything was definitely fun to do, but the one thing that always was very stationary to me and something that I really enjoyed doing was singing, and that's why I started my YouTube channel, right? Because that's what everybody did in like high school or whatever, because you had a lot of time. And for me, I decided to create my YouTube channel, I guess, to track my progress in singing. Like, I know I'm not the greatest singer out there. I wouldn't even consider like myself a good singer. I just do it for fun. And to see my progress from where I started in high school to how my voice is now and how much things have changed and everything over time, I think it's pretty impressive.